Is eBay about to implement a really sneaky tactic for promoted listings on sellers coming soon to the United States? Let's find out. Yeah, welcome back into the channel, Rockstars. Today, May 29th, Thursday afternoon, 2025, of course. And I have been reading on a lot of social media and YouTube pages about a new eBay policy that is active only overseas in the UK and other places like eBay Europe and eBay Spain that eBay has put in for promoted listing sales. And so let me give you a little quick backstory on how promoted listings work if you're not familiar on the standard promoted listings. And then I'm going to tell you what they're doing and if it might be coming to the United States, some clues that we have very soon. And this one is sneaky, you guys, so stick around for this one because trust me, you're going to want to know about it. eBay, why you got to do this to us? Before I jump into that though, really quick, people have been asking for the dogs on the video, and the reason they haven't been is our new rescue St. Bernard here. This is Kobe. He just had a procedure done. It's probably tough to tell, but he's wearing his soft cone of shame. He had a stomach procedure to basically secure his stomach to his body so that it cannot twist. It's very common in Great Danes and in St. Bernards and other large breeds with large stomachs and long stomachs where their stomach can actually twist, cut off the blood supply, and it will kill them in hours if you don't catch it. If you fall asleep, you'll wake up to your pet unfortunately passing away. So there's a preventative measure that they can do, and he had that done yesterday, and so he's got a few days of recovery. It's lipo, so it's just a couple tiny little incisions with a scope. They took care of that, and he's all set. He's good to go. But that's why he hasn't been on for the last couple days, because he was prepping for that and having that. And now today, Milo's in the other room, and Milo cannot be around him. He can't jump on him. They don't want him, bouncing around for at least a few days. So that's the story on the dog. So let's talk about eBay's promoted policy. If you don't know already, on eBay, if you promote a listing, which is minimum 2%, and I do highly recommend promoted listings. I'll tell you why in a second. You will be charged a fee. If you do 2% and you sell a $100 item, you of course will be charged $2. If the item sells through a promoted listing click or campaign. Now that is also good for 30 days. So if I, as a buyer, see your item for $100 and I click it and I bring it up and I'm kind of not sure and I don't really buy it right now. I'm like, well, maybe I'll buy it this weekend. And I do come back and I do buy it in a couple of days or a week or up to 30 days. You will still be charged the $2 even though I didn't buy it from the original click. That's as long as I click on it originally from a promoted listing display, an impression. If I found it organically without the promoted listing, without it saying sponsored, you do not get charged the fee. I do 2 and 3% across the board on my store because it's pennies and because it does show a huge increase in impressions, views, and click-through rate, which also ultimately ends up giving me a higher sell-through rate. Obviously, if more people are seeing my items, more people are clicking my items, the chances are more people are going to buy my items. And it's not very much. Again, if I sell $1,000 extra worth of stuff, it might cost me $20 or $25 if I do 2% or 2.5% or even 3% up to 30. So it's really, in the grand scheme of things, I'm happily going to trade $20 for an extra $1,000 in sales all day long. It does cost money to make money, and pay to play is something that a lot of websites do now. Amazon is a huge thing of it. Don't think that eBay is the only one doing it. Trust me, Amazon sellers pay a fortune in a lot of cases, especially private label, to get sales. They pay 5%, 8%, 10%, trust me. Now on eBay, they do suggested promoteds of like 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't recommend that. I don't do it. And I think that it's overkill and that it's just eBay earning extravagant amounts of money. But that's up to you. I just think that if you're giving them an extra 10% plus the original 13 or 14, 23, 24% in fees is too much. I'll happily give up 2% on a 14% fee item to go to 16% because to me that's pennies, right? So that's my backstory on promoted listings. Well, recently announced for eBay UK, eBay Europe and Spain and overseas, they are saying that even if somebody clicks your promoted listing and never comes back and buys the item, today I click it and I'm like, well, I love your boots and they're a great price, but maybe I'll get them later. And then I never come back and get them and I find them somewhere else. I buy them on wherever, Etsy or Posh or whatever, right? But in 3 or 4 days or in the next 30 days, somebody else finds it. Even if that person finds it organically, not through a promoted campaign, you are going to get charged the 2% or your percentage fee because somebody bought it. So that is basically wrapped up in a bow. If at all during your item's promoted campaign, it gets clicked on as a promoted listing, if anybody buys it, whether it's the original first person to click it or anybody else down the line, whether they clicked it promoted or whether they clicked it organically in those 30 days, you will be charged the fee. Now this again is for eBay overseas only. For a lot of the overseas sites, it is not for the United States as of right now. Do I believe it's going to come to the United States? Well, there's been a lot of features that have been put out for eBay overseas that have made their way into the United States. And there's some that never made it here into the United States. I've done some videos on some of those. And in my opinion, this is one that's going to make it to the United States. Why do I think that? Well, because eBay is trying to milk the profits where they can milk the profits. eBay is a business. They're trying to make money. And this is a way that they can make money almost guaranteed. Like, for example, my promoted listings, I do 1,000 items and they all sell. And I did, let's say 10 bucks a piece. So I did 10 grand in sales. So you would say, okay, well, what if you did 2% on 10 grand in sales? Well, it's $200, right? Because 10% is 1,000, 1% is 100, 2% is 200 bucks. So I should owe $200, but usually it'll be like 1 to 150. And the reason is because about only half my items sell on promoted and about half of them sell on organic. It's a little bit higher on the promoted side, maybe like 55% of the items sell promoted and 45 sell organic. But let's just say 50-50 for the time being. So in reality, on a $10,000 month in sales, when I should have owed 200 bucks in promoted fees, I only owe 100 because only half of those items went out the door and promoted. And so eBay was only able to collect 2% on $5,000 worth of items, so that was 100 bucks, and 0% on the other $5,000 in items because those didn't go promoted. Well, this has given them the opportunity to collect that money on all of the sales or a huge majority of the sales with plausible deniability that your items did or didn't sell promoted versus organic. We don't have a way to tell. We don't have a way to prove whether that item was clicked promotedly or organically. We can see the impressions, we can click on our items and see the views, we can see the sell-through and click-through rates, but we can't pair that up one for one for one for one. It's impossible to do, to say, well, this one sold here on this day for this 30 days for this percentage and this one didn't. You'll never be able to prove that, and eBay knows that, right? So they can basically, not saying that they're committing fraud or they're lying to us, but they can basically pull in a ton more cash by just saying, well, whoever clicks on that item, no matter who buys it, if it's click promoted, it's going to charge you. And my assumption is, this is again an assumption, that they see a lot of people clicking promoted and not buying the item, and then a lot of people finding it organically. Does that make sense? So you get people clicking your item promoted, it pushes it up in the eBay algorithm because it's showing that people are interested, but yet this person doesn't buy it promoted, and all the people that find it organically are buying it, probably a big ratio, a big percentage, and eBay's saying, wow, we should be capturing the fee on all that stuff, because even though it didn't sell promoted, the reason that all these people found it is because he was promoting it, and that pushed it up, and so these people found it. So that's my thought, that's my assumption, and that's why I believe they will bring it here to the United States. As always, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. It's pretty incredible that this would happen. I'm sure they're going to test it for a couple months over in the EU and over in Europe and stuff, but yeah, it could be coming to the US as early as fourth quarter. We're in May. We're going to be in June in a couple days. So June, July, August. Give them 4 months to test it, August, September, and then comes to us just in time for fourth quarter. So I'll listen to what you guys have to say in the comments section below. As always, I appreciate those comments. I appreciate you taking a look at the video and watching and subscribing and liking the video and sharing it out there in your social media. If you're part of Facebook groups or Instagram or TikTok, take a clip of this, take this link, which is right there on the URL, and share it with everyone so they know what's going on. Also, in my description box, a couple of important links. There is a link to eBay Live Shopping. A lot of people said they didn't even know eBay had live shopping. So I linked it below. If you want to check out eBay's live shopping page where you can be a buyer, go feel free to check it out. I don't know why they're not expanding it to more sellers yet, but hopefully that is coming soon. It's by invite only right now. And also a couple of other great links, including my podcast, my Facebook group for sellers and business owners, and all of our great sponsors here. Mark II, the CPA, My Reseller, Genie, the accounting service, and List Perfectly, the cross-listing service on the planet, the best one on the planet. So check all those out. And until next time, I will see everyone in the next video.